I feel nauseous, believe me. Never had a lot of shit come easy. Had to work hard, struggle just to be me.
In this fast-paced, glittering world, there are small moments that are easily missed. A genuine laugh, a meaningful look, or a light touch that carries more warmth than 1,000 words. This is where we, at Lumine K-Pop, try to capture those little lights, retelling not just the stories of the stars on stage, but the human stories behind the glitter, friends, brothers, souls who found each other. Get ready to dive into relationships, stories, and emotions that aren't just seen, but felt.
Scream until you're louder, work until you're prouder, and all the doubters, they're just your downers. I swear to God they all let me down.
You are me, I am you. That simple phrase has long been a kind of unofficial mantra between Jimin and Jungkook, not announced in grand style, not sanctioned by stages or conferences, but felt, seen, and believed by anyone who's paid more than a passing attention to the two. Not just a friendship slogan, but more like a deep confession. Not about being twins, but about knowing someone down to their very core and choosing them anyway, every day. With Are You Sure, we're given the chance to witness not just the journey of two friends, but a rare portrait of a human bond that grows, changes, and endures. It's not a glamorous documentary. It's more like a window, open for a moment, with the wind carrying small stories, subtle gestures, and moments that, if you're not paying close attention, could easily be missed. But that's where its power lies, in the ordinary, in the unconventional actions.
They all let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm off at these fucking clowns who were all taught they deserve an ounce. It's only worth it.
Jimin and Jungkook are different in so many ways. Jungkook, the energetic bunny who never runs out of energy, who's always willing to try new things and isn't afraid to get his hands dirty. Jimin, the quiet perfectionist whose attention to detail serves as a kind of anchor, reminding Jungkook to take a break, eat, and occasionally watch the sunset. Jungkook happily cooks and feeds Jimin like a grandmother would her beloved grandchild, while Jimin designs the entire travel experience, picking the spots, making the schedule, making sure his best friend isn't just traveling, but actually enjoying himself. But more than just who's giving and who's taking, they have something even rarer, a natural balance. Not a balance based on calculation, but on an understanding that comes from history. They've been together long enough to know that not everything is fair on paper. Sometimes one gives more, and sometimes the other takes more. But they never keep score. There's no scoreboard, just rhythm, an invisible rhythm that they both know and they keep.
Life that has meaning are the things you gotta work for, believe me. Take into your hands a plan, your own hands can land your own brand, and damn, I feel like no one takes accountability.
And in their silences, in their late-night conversations, or the idle chatter on the boat, we see something bigger than just chemistry. We see history. We see a mutual familiarity that comes not from asking, but from being present. Jimin knows Jungkook wouldn't leave the hotel without being asked. Jungkook knows Jimin probably doesn't like crowded places, so he doesn't force it. They give each other space not because they were taught to, but because they want each other to feel comfortable.
It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now.
When Jungkook casually says he wants to go to Japan again because he remembers his time with Jimin, or when he leans on his best friend's shoulder with a smile, none of it sounds contrived. When Jimin hugs Jungkook just because he wants to, or stops the car so Jungkook can enjoy his coffee without interruption, it's not scripted. It's habit. It's the language of love in its most human form.
Let's go. I'm just telling you to fight for your dreams, but it's not what it seems. Man, it's hard to be seen when everybody wants to be king. Yeah, they all want to ring. Yeah,
and they laughed. Oh, they laughed. Sometimes for no reason. Sometimes at things that weren't funny to anyone else. But their joy was so pure, so infectious, that you laughed too. They laughed at themselves, at each other, at life. It was the kind of laughter that only comes when you're truly safe with someone, when there's no ego to protect. when you know, even in the chaos and failure, that you're not alone.
It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear.
In open ocean snorkeling, in awkward but exuberant snowboarding, in light philosophical conversations on the train, they were proof that togetherness isn't about what you do, but who you do it with. Even in their exhaustion, they weren't just tired, they were euphoric, because the exhaustion that comes from doing something with someone you care about is the best exhaustion in the world. And then there were the little moments, the ones you might have missed if you'd blinked. A gentle touch on the shoulder, a discreetly fixed helmet, small actions that don't need words but speak volumes. The act that essentially says, I see you, I care, I own you. The intimacy they share isn't performative. It's not made to be watched, but we're allowed to see a tiny bit of it, and even that tiny bit is enough to make our day.
I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm off at these fucking clowns who were all taught they deserve an ounce.
They tease each other like siblings, testing each other's boundaries with the precision that only people who really know each other can. But it never hurts, it never puts them down. It's affection in the form of a joke. It's love that knows when to stop and when to laugh. And when they say, I feel free, I'm happy, you can feel it. After everything they've been through, the fame, the pressure, the expectations, the exhaustion, they can sit next to each other, look up at the sky, and say they're happy. Because in the end, it's not about where they are, it's about who they're with.
So show me what you got, what you bring, how you fight in the ring, how you take a fucking swing.
That's what Are You Sure is. It's not just a travelogue. It's a work of art that captures the raw friendship, the tender affection, and the history woven into the laughter, the silence, and the small choices they make every day. They showed us that love doesn't have to be loud, it doesn't have to be announced. Sometimes, love just needs to be seen. And in them, we see it, in its most genuine form.
I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown. I swear to God they don't let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown.
And like all beautiful journeys, we've come to the end of our story today. But like the light that keeps moving even after the sun sets, their story is never truly over. Because every laugh, hug, and whisper they share will always leave a trace. Thank you for spending time with us at Lumine K-Pop. If this story touched you, share that light. And until we meet again in the next video, keep looking beyond the obvious. Because behind every frame, there's a story waiting to be discovered.